there was a time I went out for evangelism. So after I finished evangelism, I went to somebody. We are two. When I finished, I introduced, and I said, if you are hearing our voice, those who you are hearing their voice is Christ Apostolic Church, Osana Chapel. And we prayed and we went back. The person asked me that, Pastor, are we Osana Chapel? Say, why not say, you are hearing the voice of Pastor Israel and Brother Sheb? I said, no. Those of us that go there for evangelism is the church. It's not Pastor Israel. It's not Brother Sheb. It's who? It's the church. Because I come in the name of the church. If it is on personal ground, then it means you take off from your house. It's no longer church-based evangelism. It's personal-based evangelism. That is, you took off from your house, right, and you go to wherever you please. But because it's church-based, you cannot go beyond the locality of the church. That's why it is church-based. It is church-based because whatever we are going to do will not only be carried out by the church members, but it's going to be within our locality. When I was teaching how to share tracts in another place, I told them that please don't share tracts in the name of the church. That is, tracts that the name of the church is printed on. Don't share it in too far away places. And they said, why? Because if you do, that is no longer church-based evangelism. And why do I say so? Is because anywhere you go to share tract, let me say you go and share tract in Yanopaja, it will be difficult for God to direct anybody from Yanopaja to come and be worshiping here. Because as we are doing evangelism, we are doing it with the mind that anyone that God will arrest, we wish that God brings them here. We are not going to be going to bring them here, but we wish. It's our prayer. And because our prayer that anybody God will win is so, through our evangelism activity should come here. For that reason, we must not go beyond whoever that we want to come here will find it trackable to come. The moment it is too far, it means it is not church-based. Because even if God taught the mind of that person to come, distance will not allow him to come. That's the reason why our evangelism should be within the locality, where we know that it is not too far for people to come and be a member of this church from that place. So as you go, so it is not for you to say, Pastor, okay, what is the limit of my locality? I'm not going to tell you that. You know your environment. You are the one to ask yourself that, if I should go to so extent, can anybody be a regular member of this church from so place? If the answer is that no, because it is too far, then it means that territory is beyond your locality. That's how to calculate your locality. And because it is within your locality, then it is church-based evangelism. Okay, let me go, because I would like question. So please, if you have any question, you may not say you want to put it on your head because you may forget. Just write it maybe at the back of that handout. So we'll create time for questions. When it is time for questions, just please ask me questions. As many questions as you wish to ask me. I trust God that the Lord will give me the grace to be able to answer. Now let's go to number 4 subtopic, which says basic focus of Assembly Evangelism. Now, pay attention to this because this is your mandate. My evangelist, are you getting me? This is your mandate. Right? And my other brother, my sister, this is your mandate. That is, this is what your work will fulfill. This is the impact you are to make through your evangelism activity. If your work do not make these 6 impacts, then we should query your presence in this particular training segment. We should query your presence here. It means maybe you are not here. You only seated here, but your mind is not here. This is your mandate. This is what you must achieve. This is what This is the impact you must make. Very, very important. Very, very important. Number one, your activity must, at the end of the day, strengthen believers. So each time you want to, because I may not, except if you ask me a question. So because I may not spend too much time there. So let's see. Each time you are sitting down to plan for any activity, this is what will help you to know what activity should we plan for. This. But okay, if somebody say, my people, why will not do so evangelism activity? You should ask yourself, that activity that you want to plan, which will it result to in any of these six? If at the end of the day, none of those activities will bring any of these six results, then drop it. Thank whoever that brought that idea and ruminate on another idea. Because whatever idea and activity you are bringing up for us to carry out as a church must result in any of these six. Either one of it, or two of it, or three of it, or none of it. But on no account, for example, we want to go out for evangelism. I'm talking about street crime. And at the end of the day, we realize that the street crime we want to do, I'm talking about going up with megaphone, right? Unfortunately, I could have loved to project some of the street crime I recorded on my phone, right? But trusting God that by the time I come back again, because we have a centralized seminar for the entire DCC, right? But we not decentralize it to each district and center. So I'll be coming back for that sometimes in September this next year, 11th day of September precisely. I can remember the program already because I've done the program already. So when I come, if it's possible, we project the street cry that we have recorded over time. So if at the end of the day, this street cry we are going out for do not strengthen the saints, do not restore backsliders, do not win any loss, it's not going to lead to any growth whatsoever in the church, does not address first timers and all that, then we should drop it. It's as simple as that. So therefore, these six, I'm not going to read it one by one. So read it to yourself. If you have any question, please ask me. Whatever, I want to repeat myself because very, very important. Whatever activity of evangelism you will be planning for us in this church, make sure it will result into any of these six. Make sure. Because by the time you bring it to our father and say, Daddy, this is what I want to do so time. And our father discovered that none of these six will be manifested as, at the end of the day, I was starting to reject it. I said, my brother, we appreciate you for your time, but maybe you should go and sit down again. Because what you say you want to do will not benefit us in any way. It will not result in any of these six mandates of yours. So, and of course, at that point, I will expect you to go back home and of course look at it again. Let's go to number 5 now. Who are you? You are a standing committee, a plan and implementation committee. That's who you are. You are not a department. You are not a department. You are a standing committee, right? A standing planning and implementation committee. That's what you are. And therefore, please, this may be an training for assembly planning committee, but it is also similar if we are to go to center, because I understand that this is Alpha Center, this church and another church. So by the time we are going to inaugurate the Alpha Center Evangelism Committee, some of you here among that 5 will also be in that committee. So I want you to use the idea, the knowledge you got in this seminar for that when that time comes up. Because why? The training is the same thing. So we may not repeat that training for you when we are to inaugurate the Center Evangelism Committee, because the assignment is the same thing. So take note. That's the reason why, if you look at that handout, you see that I wrote same is for center, district, DCC. Because why? It's the same principle. So please get it right, because you may not know. You may be the one that the Spirit of God will tell our Father to appoint as also a member of the planning committee for the Center Evangelism Committee. So you do not say, what am I going to do now? It's the same thing. So it's good you pay attention as we move on. And I don't mind if you want to ask me a question with regards to the issue of center, not just assembly, because your question will enable me to explain myself further and better. Now, thank God we have gone through the inauguration. But before we get to the inauguration, you have this qualification, or you can even call it requirement or condition, whatever you want to call it. Please, if you did not have it, you still have time. You must be born again. Very, very important. As the blind cannot lead the blind. If you are going to lead evangelism activity, and evangelism is basically to offer Christ to people outside, and you want to offer Christ to people outside, you don't have Christ yourself. It's like how will you give what you do not have? It's not possible. If you do not have Christ, there's no way you can offer him to any other person. So you need to be born again, because by being born again, it means you have Christ. So that will give you the confidence to be able to offer the person you know to another person. But if you are not born again, it means you do not have Christ. Then how do you offer Christ that you do not have to somebody else? It's not possible. It's not possible.